Hello and welcome to everyone, whether you are joining me live or on the replay. This is the Vibrational Astrology forecast for the month of September, and wow, do I have lots to cover. So here's the roadmap for today. Quick VA orientation. I always do this because we have new people come in and out. We're going to cover the double Virgo new moons and eclipse season. That's a biggie. That's something different. So we're going to focus on that, deal with our active vibrations for the month of September, and of course, answer any and all questions that you have. So let's get rolling here. Here are your key vibrations in September, the ones that show up with a gold ring around them. We have multiple instances in those vibrations, which we'll get to in just a second, meaning the vibration shows up multiple times with different planets at play. I always like to give you a chart because I'm a data guy and I like charts. This helps you look at things just from an eyeball perspective of the entire month of September. And the way you read this, got a little key down here at the bottom. The purple line is indicative of an aspect that lasts for 31 days. You've got shorter ones denoted by color. But what this helps you do is visually see when the energy starts to stack up. You'll notice this month, and I believe last month was like this, got a lot more energy popping toward the end of the month when these cycles overlap. Just like the soap opera, you can have one cycle over here that's about growth and expansion, and things are going well, and we're adding knowledge to our skill set or money to our bank account or whatnot. But then you can also have disruption happening at the same time. You know, when you cut to the person who's cheating on the wife, and then they're having an affair with the milkman, and they're doing all this, and you can have these things concurrent. And I think that's where a lot of astrology goes off course, where it's not this idea of here's what you're handed, it's one thing and that's it. There are cycles happening within cycles from here to eternity. So this just helps give you a visual of how this all looks. We're not going to cover all of these, but we're going to cover enough that's going to get you to where you need to go. The longer the cycle, the more that energy is present and the more you can work with it. The shorter the cycle, the less of a duration you have, and it's probably not going to be as intense, but you've got these little blips. If you go back to the weather report where you can have a string of days that are sunny or a string of days that might be rainy, and then things change. Now we're switching gears here. We're in the third vibration, which is actually kind of a lower octave of the sixth vibe, but it's different. This is an idea of just needing to feel in the flow. For those who are astrology buffs and follow astrology, this is a trine energy where the energy just, it just needs to flow freely and, not have any obstructions. And when obstructions happen, that's when we end up having issues. So when the third vibe is there, strict rules, not so good. Needing to do repetitive tasks, also not good. This is a time to just kind of put the boat on the river and see where it goes. Well, we have Sun, Uranus, and Pluto. Here we are again. Breaking out of routine, making a change for the better, to reinvent something, to take something that maybe is in need of repair and blow it up, get rid of it, and build something better. This isn't, I keep hitting this button, sorry. This is an 8-day cycle, so you'll feel this one pretty decent. I find that when you have cycles that are around 4 or less days, it's there. You can't ignore it, but it's not as front and center as other cycles. This one will be front and center, number one, because the sun is involved and there's no avoiding it. It also lasts for 8 days, September 20th through the 27th. And this is a time to, again, lean into anything that might require an upgrade, getting rid of the old, bringing in something new, and doing it with intensity. Because Pluto, again, is this intensifier. One of the ways I like to describe Pluto is in Freudian psychology, you've got the id, you've got the ego, and the superego. Well, the id is kind of the lowest guy on the ladder. The id is impulsive. It wants to do what it wants, when it wants it, and it doesn't want to listen to reason. That's Pluto energy. It can be very helpful if applied in the right context. However, if left unchecked, it can kind of run amok and get us into trouble. So wherever Pluto appears, it's a double-edged sword, and you want to make sure you're applying that energy in a productive manner as opposed to just kind of running all over the earth with it without any type of channeling so that it gets applied effectively. All right, so third vibration, got that covered. Third vibration again is happening. This time, another 4-day cycle, September 17th through the 20th. This is where on that graph, and we'll go back to that graph toward the end, the back part of the month is loaded with a lot of different energy here. So the benefit that gives you is you got choices. Just like not going to the beach on a sunny day, you don't have to work with any of this energy, but you can pick and choose what makes the most sense for you to work with based on what your situation is. So we still have this need to be in the flow energy, but now we got Mercury involved, Mercury, Uranus, Pluto. We haven't spoken about Mercury yet today, but we're going to talk about it now. Mercury connects thoughts and ideas. In traditional astrology, it's referred to as the communicator. But when Mercury shows up, at least through the VA lens, it enables us to make those connections. And it does help us communicate, whether it's originating that communication or receiving the communication. So Mercury, Uranus, Pluto brings in new, radical, creative thoughts. It's only a 4-dayer, but if you've got some creative projects on deck during the month of September, and you need to innovate, and you need to potentially communicate to people around you, whether it's your family, whether it's your community, whether it's people who respond to you from a business perspective, wherever, this is a time to focus on getting that communication together. Because the Mercury element helps you come up with new thoughts, new ideas, and Pluto lets you stay with it so that you don't put it down until it's done. And you kind of know that Pluto energy when you feel it. It's like, well, let me just look one more thing up. Let me send one more email. It's like you're fighting this, you want to let go of something, but now you keep getting called back to it. That's Pluto. It's that intensity. So I see this window here as an opportunity to get inventive and creative. Even just for a 4-day burst can help get a lot more options out on the table for you to deal with moving forward. And as I say this every month, I'm going to mention it again now. Energy does not flip on and off like a switch. It starts off slow, then it rises, it's going to peak, and then it's going to fade out. And whether that is a 1-day cycle or a 248-year cycle, every cycle has that sort of ramp up. Even when the moon comes around each sign in the chart for 2.5 days each month, it doesn't just boop, pop in there. It has to enter, it has to culminate, it has to leave. When you start thinking of energy and cycles this way, it really helps your understanding of how the astrology works. So take advantage of this time period here. I'm looking forward to this. I got a couple of things that I've already slated on the calendar to plug into this creative cycle, September 17th through the 20th, 4 days.